let's get into this week's hot take. You have been sold a lot of lies. Hate to be the one to break it to you, but you have. And we're going to go through some of those lies on some of these Freestyle Friday episodes. And so this is lies that you've been told, number 142. If you're not upgrading your life, you're failing. Well, I got some news for you. Life isn't linear. I fell into this trap early on in my 20s, and the first 5 years of our marriage, my wife and I moved around 10 times. And every time we moved, we upgraded. We just accumulated more shit, because we thought that's what you're supposed to do. By the last time when we moved to our home in Las Vegas, we had a massive rent payment and we filled the biggest U-Haul that you could get to move into that new house. Then something amazing happened, and all of the salespeople that were with me at the time building this water purification sales force, they quit. And I had two choices: rebuild a sales team that I didn't want and or start selling more myself again to support my lifestyle, or downgrade my lifestyle and figure out the new path that I actually wanted to be on. And luckily, I learned enough about myself during that time period to get out of the upgrade matrix and turn back to the original goal. The original goal, the thing that I wanted to solve for in life, which is to build a life I didn't want to retire from. Because that's true retirement to me, right? Had I stayed in the big house, I wouldn't have been able to pay all of my bills with the startup side hustle that I had going on. I would have had to keep doing the thing that I didn't love just to keep up pretense that I was doing well. We got rid of the expenses. We got rid of the rent payment, which was over $3,000 a month with rent and utilities, and moved into my brother-in-law's apartment with him. We sold or threw away most of our shit, and our new payment with utilities was around $550 a month. And my side hustle business ended up doing about $50,000 that year. So then the next year, because I was able to actually focus on it full time, it ended up doing over $400,000. And then the next year, we started a software company and raised over $1 million to build that software company. And then last year, my agency went from $0 to $1 million in revenue in just 8 months. And now we bought another house with a next gen apartment attached to it that we rent out, got a killer interest rate, less than 3% at the time. Our payment with utilities is still significantly less than it was in the first house that we moved to, but we own this one and we get rent payments from the one bedroom apartment that we have attached to the house. And guess what? I still drive a paid off Camry and a paid off Tundra. I don't have the latest iPhone. My TV is like 4 or 5 years old. It's not 4K. The sound system that I have isn't even synced to the TV. We lost the remote for the TV. I turn it on with my hand, and then I have to make sure that the sound bar syncs up with it. We haven't bought new furniture in years. We have the same furniture. We have the same cars, the same TV. But in that same period of time, I've also invested over $400,000 into myself. I've put money into a couple angel investments and real estate syndications, and I've loaned money to others to earn some interest as well. You do not need to upgrade your life constantly. Upgrading your lifestyle is typically not a sign of massively increased earnings. It's typically a sign of undisciplined spending for the sake of keeping up with the Joneses. As always, how do we know we aren't believing this lie? Number one, if you had to go without income tomorrow, how long could you last without losing everything? And if it's less than 6 months, then there's some work to do regarding your spending and or saving habits or your earning ability. Number two, do your monthly payments add up to more than 75% of your monthly income? If so, you need to start measuring things you buy in terms of how much it costs to you total, not how much the monthly payment is. The only thing outside of, services like insurance and things like that you should need to be making payments on is the place that you live. And if you need a car payment, it should be less than 5% of your monthly income, maybe 10% or something like that. Number three, have you put more money into things you didn't need than you have into investments, including yourself? The same people that complain about never having money are the same people who will drop $3,000 on a new TV and a sound bar and then call a coaching program a scam or a waste of money. You are your number one asset. Only you have the ability to control how much money that you can make. So now the last question to ask yourself is this, and it's probably the most important one. How do you want your life to play out? And for me, I don't want to have to work by the time I'm in my 40s, let alone my 60s. I want to spend my life doing the things that I want to do, not what I have to do. So for me, it makes sense to work hard, take big risks, invest in myself, delay buying toys and cars and nice houses and all that other stuff that most people get themselves into, because every dollar that goes into frivolous nonsense could go into my business to give me more time or generate more money, or it can go into myself to earn me more time or more money, or into an investment that earns me more money or gives me more time. And until I'm at the point where I don't have to work, that's the lens through which I make my financial decisions. So do not fall for the lie that upgrading is necessary, or you might just be the person who retires from your first job at 62 and then has to go get a retirement job just to be able to afford a double wide and a car payment. Do the work to figure out what you want, what you need, and see if you're on track. And if you're not, don't be afraid to downgrade. There's absolutely no shame in making the smart decision, taking a few steps back so that you can take a few more steps forward. And that's it for today's hot take.